Ego development is the process of evolving from a limited self-centered identity to a more open, connected and self-aware state of being. This journey involves moving beyond identifying only with fleeting thoughts or actions, thinking and doing, and reaching a peaceful, integrated understanding of the self, being that embraces all experiences. Experiencer, experiencing experience. In the early stages, the experiencer, our sense of self, is highly focused on survival and control, viewing life as events that happen to me. This perspective is narrow and centered on personal needs and validation. Over time, however, the experiencer starts to see itself as part of a broader system, understanding that we are all interconnected. When the ego matures, the experiencer no longer views itself as a separate entity. Instead, it perceives experiences as an expression of shared existence with others and life itself. Thinking begins self-centered, focused on survival, judgments, and rigid categories. As it evolves, it becomes more open, empathetic, and capable of considering multiple perspectives without rigid attachments. Mature thinking is guided by insight and understanding, valuing connection over control. Doing initially serves the ego's need for achievement, control, or validation, acting to secure resources, safety, or recognition. In later stages, doing aligns with a sense of purpose beyond the self, contributing to the well-being of others or fulfilling deeper values. In its advanced form, actions express a purpose of service to a greater whole. Experiencing describes our interaction with the world. Early on, it often feels like a constant pursuit of desires or avoidance of discomfort. As ego develops, experiencing becomes more about presence and acceptance, leading to a natural flow with life and a sense of unity with it. Experience refers to the events we encounter. Early on, experiences are seen as concrete and absolute, with life events appearing real and objective. With a more mature ego, experiences become subjective and are understood as mirrors of our inner states, showing us how we are growing and evolving. Thinking, doing, and being. In early stages, thinking and doing dominate, centered on meeting egoic needs and maintaining control. Over time, these aspects become more reflective and aligned with a deeper understanding of reality. Thinking matures from a judgmental, reactionary mode to one that is reflective and thoughtful, embracing multiple viewpoints without rigid attachment. At this level, thinking supports empathy, understanding and compassion rather than rigid beliefs. Doing evolves from actions driven by personal needs towards purposeful contributions to others or higher ideals. It becomes a means of expressing inner growth, connecting with the world and serving a broader purpose. Being becomes central in later stages, focusing on stillness, presence and connection. Rather than being overly attached to transient thoughts or actions, being centers around a stable, enduring sense of self that is at peace with all experiences. Aligning the two triads. The path of ego development brings experience into harmony with being. As the ego matures, experiences are no longer seen as isolated events, but as part of an ongoing journey of growth. The individual learns to accept each experience as it is, seeing it as a piece of their own development. In this advanced state, there's a unified understanding where thinking, doing, and being align. Actions and thoughts flow naturally from an integrated self, and the individual is less focused on satisfying transient desires. Instead, there's a deep, stable peace with oneself and life. A state where both inner and outer experiences are welcomed as part of a larger and interconnected whole.